using the distributive law. In this case, we have negative 2 times in parentheses a minus 3 plus 4 outside the parentheses, which equals 4 times in the parentheses a minus 2, close our parentheses. Okay, do note, we always try to simplify the expressions if possible. By simplify, we go by orders of operation. Remember PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Or start with parentheses, then exponents, multiplication and division, and last addition and subtraction for simplifying. So let's try to simplify the parentheses, a minus 3. Well, we can't combine them, right? We don't know what the value of a is. So let's go to the other side of our equal sign, a minus 2. We can't combine them either. So that means we gotta simplify, well, we can't really simplify anything unless we distribute first. Since we don't have any exponents, we go into multiplications then. We have a negative 2 times, in the parentheses, a minus 3. So let's distribute. Negative 2 times a gives us negative 2a. Negative 2 times negative 3 will give us, well, negative times a negative is a positive. 2 times 3 is, well, let's find out in a minute. Negative 2 times 3. And negative 2 times, whoopsie, I can't distribute to the 4. Do notice the fact that it has a plus sign and it's outside of our parentheses implies that it's a separate term. So we're not allowed to distribute to that one, unfortunately. We wouldn't be able to. So in that case, that means all we're doing is just bringing it down, so plus 4. Okay, let's try the other side. Same idea, we can't simplify inside the parentheses, so we gotta distribute. 4 times a gives us 4a. 4 times negative 2, 4 times 2, 8. Positive times a negative, negative. But for now, let's write it as plus 2 times plus 4 times negative 2. And we'll simplify in this next step. So negative 2a, we can't simplify any further. Negative 2 times negative 3, once again we stated that 2 times 3 is 6. Negative times a negative, positive 6 then. And the 4, we just bring it down, since we can't combine it yet. And on the other side, 4a is still 4a. 4 times 2 gives us 8, positive times a negative. Two different signs, always give us a negative, agreed. So we negative 8. Okay, so we've distributed so far. Let's combine our like terms. Let's see, what can we combine? 6 plus 4? 10? That's about it, right? That's about as much as we can simplify on each separate side of the equal sign. Now notice, we have a's on both sides of our equal sign. It's your choice. Where do you want the a's? On the left side or on the right side? It is once again your choice, so you may flip a coin if you choose. But I would recommend you move them to the side where it makes them positive. In this case, the 4a is positive on the right side already, and negative 2a is smaller than 4a. So I recommend the right side for this case. So let's move the 2a to the right side. But once again, if you move it to the left side, it's totally fine. You get the same answer, but just in reverse direction. So plus 2a, we do the one thing for one side equals the same on the other, meaning we add 2a here and we add 2a to the other side. Okay, 2a minus 2a or negative 2a plus 2a cancels out. Okay, what do we have left? Let's see on the left side, there's a 10 left. On the right side, 4a plus 2a will give us 6a. So we have 10 equals 6a minus 8. We just bring down the negative 8. We can't combine it yet. Now we have numbers and variables on the right side and just numbers on the left side. So we want to solve for a, meaning we're going to get rid of everything but the a from the right side in this case. So we're subtracting the 8. Do remember, to get rid of from one side of the equal sign to the other, it's always easier to start with addition and subtraction. So we're subtracting 8, so that means we're going to add 8 to both sides. So negative 8 plus 8 will cancel out. We have 10 plus 8 will now give us 18. So 18 equals 6a. Okay, so the 6 is multiplying with the a. How do we get rid of it if it's multiplying? What's the opposite? You mentioned divide? Yeah, let's divide that. So 18 divided by 6, and what we do to one side, we must do to the other, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't cancel the 6. So 18 divided by 6 gives us, let's see, 6 times what gives us 18? Let's cancel the 6. 3, you said? 3 equals a. Yep, that'll be our solution. Once again, do note our 6 is cancelled. And there is our answer. Okay, let's try the other one then. Next case solution. 2/3 x plus 1/6 equals 3/4. Hey, great. Just the problems you love, right? Fractions. I know you love them. Just joking. I do realize they can be a handful, but they're still doable, right? With practice, they'll be even easier with time for you. Okay, so we're solving. Do remember, we're doing exactly the same thing as what we did on the left side, except even easier for this case. Just like solving any regular number problem. So what are we adding or subtracting? That's the first thing we want to get rid of, right? We're adding 1/6. So the opposite of adding 1/6 would be to subtract 1/6. What we do to one side, we must do to the other. So subtract 1/6. 1/6 minus 1/6 on the left side cancels out. Okay, this next part, 3/4 minus 1/6, I typically choose to do them slightly off the side to give me enough space later on to finish the problem. So I'll convert it into 3/4 minus 1/6 to make it a little bit easier. Once again, this is slightly off the side, slightly off to the right. And let's simplify this. So you can find a least common denominator for each, or for just one. Well, in this case, it'll be for each. And then you can combine them. But for this case, I think I want to use the cross multiplication for addition and subtraction method. It'll make your life easier for this particular case at least. And many others, or most others I should say, when you're adding or subtracting. So the idea for cross multiplication using addition or subtraction is that we start with a fraction sign, long big fraction sign. Whatever sign you have in the middle, let's say you have a negative, then you're going to put it in the middle of that fraction sign on the top. Okay, up next, the 3 on the top, first fraction, multiplies with the 6 on the bottom, second fraction. So 3 times 6 will give you your first number at the top. 3 times 6 we said is 18. Okay, that works. And now we're going to take the first bottom number, the 4, times the second top number, the 1. 4 times 1 gives us the second number up at the top. 4 times 1, 4. Okay. And now for our common denominator. In order to obtain our common denominator, we just multiply straight. 4 times 6 will give us 24. There's our common denominator. The only slight downside to this format is you may get large numbers, but it's totally doable. Do keep that in mind. Okay, 18 minus 4 will give us 18 minus 4, 14. And it's 14 over 24, still our common denominator. Can we simplify this? Let's see, they're not multiples of 5s, because they would have to end in a 5 or a 0. Not multiples of 10s, because they would have to end in 0. Not multiples of 3s, maybe. But they're definitely multiples of 2, since they're both even, right? So we can divide by 2 in both cases, or convert your multiplication. 2 times what gives you 14, and 2 times what gives you 24. Or keep it really easy. Do remember, use halves. What is half of 14? 7. What is half of 24? 12. What's easier than saying halves, right? And now let's plug it back into our equation or expression from before. So 3/4 minus 1/6, we now know that it gives us 7/12. So there's what remains of our previous equation or expression. 2/3 x equals 7/12. And now we want to get rid of the 2/3, or we can do individual steps. Meaning we get rid of the 3 first by multiplication to both sides, and then get rid of the 2 by division on both sides. Or we can get rid of it as one-step method, meaning reciprocal. Highly recommend you learn it. Reciprocal, let's review real quick. That implies that we're just flipping the fraction. So where we have 2/3, it now becomes 3/2. And what we do to one side, we must do to the other. So 2/3 became 3/2 on both sides. And it's multiplication, right? And how do we multiply? Well, straight. But do keep in mind, on the left side first, 3 divided by 3 cancels out, 2 divided by 2 cancels out. So therefore that cancels out and leaves us just the x. Okay, so now multiplying. 7 times 3, once again, 21. 12 times 2, 24. Now all we have to do is simplify the fraction. 21 is not even, so it's not a multiple of 2. Not a multiple of 5 does not end in a 0 or a 5. Not a multiple of 10 does not end in a 0. So what's our other most common multiple? 3? Is there a number that multiplied by 3 gives us 21, and when 3 multiplied by something gives us 24? I think there is, right? Let's divide by 3 then. 3 times what gives us 21? 3 times 7 is 21. And 3 times 8 is 24. Yeah, it works. X equals 7/8 then would be our final answer. Hooray. Let's go to the next one, since it seems like it's going to be more fun than this one, right? Okay, let's try it out. Well, in reality, this one looks really complex, more complex than the previous one. But it's actually easier. And it just depends on your point of view or your visualization on this one. Visualize this in parentheses. Makes your life easier. So 3x minus 1 in parentheses and 4x plus 2 in parentheses. Now do you see my point? Well, maybe not yet. There's a 2 dividing everything on top. There's a 3 on the right side dividing everything on top. Well, I can probably multiply by 2 and that will cancel the 2 on the left side. But what I do to one side, I must do to the other side, right? So 2 divided by 2 cancels out. Hey, that makes that left side really easy. It's just 3x minus 1. Hey, you might be seeing the same thing. You could do the same thing with the 3, right? So how about we get rid of the 3 then, as well? Okay, let's get rid of the 3. Let's visualize parentheses again. And let's do remember that we need a multiple of 2 on the right side from the previous step. There it is. Now let's get rid of the 3. So since it's dividing because it's a fraction, fraction implies division. Opposite of division is multiplication. So let's multiply by 3. What we do to one side, we must do to the other. Notice I haven't multiplied the 3 times the 2 yet, right? And I won't. Instead, I'll just show it on the other side as well. Keep in mind, show it on both sides. Okay, on the right side, 3 multiplying, 3 dividing, they cancel out, right? You got it. So, in that case, all we have left is, well, let's not forget to put the parentheses and include the 3's, or 3 and the 2, right? Since it only remains on 1 on each side, I should say. So, that makes this a lot easier than the previous problem, with a little bit of extra step distribution. So let's distribute the 3. 3 times 3x, 3 times 3, 9. Okay, so we got 9x. 3 times negative 1, negative 3. 3 times 1 is 3. Negative 10 is a positive, negative still. So that gives us the right side values. Now let's simplify the right, pardon me, that gave us the left side. Now let's simplify the right side. 4 times 2x, oh pardon me, 4x times 2, I should say, will give us 8x. And now 2 times 2, let's see, 2 times 2, 4. Hey, look at that. We got a much more simple solution, or expression, I should say. So let's bring it up to the top. That way we have enough space. So we now have just a repeated expression, 9x minus 3 on one side equals 8x plus 4. Well, once again, you get to pick where you want the variables. Do you want them on the left side or the right side? Once again, draw it out of a hat, which side you choose, or flip a coin if you want left or right side. But to make life easier, or life easier for us, or you as well, right? Well, it's you because you're doing the homework, right? Maybe. Let's try out moving it where it's going to give us a positive x value. That means, in this case, moving it to the left. So what we do to one side, we do to the other. We get rid of the 8x in this case to get a positive x on the left side. 9x minus 8x will give us x. Notice that 8x minus 8x cancels out, right? Or we leave it out because we get 0. Let's bring down our negative 3 and bring down the 4 on the right side. So now we have left x minus 3 equals 4. Okay, so solving for x. What's the one thing we got to do, or that we have remaining? To get rid of the 3, right? It's subtraction, so opposite of subtraction. Let's add it to both sides. Negative 3 plus 3 cancels out. 4 plus 3 is 7. All right, so there's our final answer. Looks like we're completed. Our answer is 7 for this particular case.